What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and it's happening. We talked about it. We are seeing a positive bit of sentiment for the Lunar Classic ahead of the implementation of that 1.2% burn tax, and it does feel like some exchanges are starting to change the way. The big question, Binance, what are they going to do? We're going to talk a little bit about that in this video, and equally where I think our price movement is going to be before we hit that burn, which is now less than 24 hours away, so get hyped for that. But do me a favor, first and foremost, if you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe so you get up to date on all your Lunar Classic information. Also hit the notification bell so that you know when we go live or upload a new video. And finally, if you are holding Terra Lunar Classic, let's see how many of you are. Hit the like button. Let's see how many people are holding their Lunar Classic ahead of these burns, and let's dive into the video. So at the point of recording this, we are seeing a nice bit of momentum, 13% up on the day, volume at 43% up. Now, we did see a pretty big dump yesterday, down dropped to the 2.7s, but did bounce back incredibly quickly, obviously on the back of the expectation about those Fed rate hikes that we're going to see over the course of the next 2 or 3 days, which could be the one thing that scuppers us as we move towards the 1.2% burn tax. But ultimately, we are back ranked 31st highest cryptocurrency out there, and we seem to have the momentum ahead of the rest of the market. Right now, we are seeing a nice little movement on here. Like I said, 12.5% up, 3070 is the price. We have maintained that price point above the threes for quite a length of time, which is always positive as we head towards the burn tax. And I did talk about that in a couple of my previous videos, that I do think we will see the price move as we head towards the market. If we look in the 1 month, we did see obviously this huge spike when we saw the staking go live, and this for me tells us what the potential is. Now, do I think we're going to be back up at the sixes just because we see the 1.2% burn tax? I think if we get an announcement from, say, Binance, Get.io, KuCoin, or any of those big exchanges that says we will support both on and off chain burns, I think we're going to smash through this level. I think we could see really big price movement to the positive if we see that. Do I see it happening? I am not sure right now. I think they're all going to wait and see. We know that the Binance AMA is only a couple of days after the implementation of that, and I think if I'm another exchange, I'm going to wait and see if Binance shows their hands. Now, we got some positive news, certainly some positive indicators from the previous AMA, both with KuCoin and the Terra Rebels, which was actually good in terms of what they were talking about, and it was good in terms of their vision and what they want to bring to it. I think it really settled investors down and equally got people curious about what is coming for Lunar Classic. Now, the next couple of days are going to be insane. If we do get Coinbase as an example coming out and saying they're going to support, again, if we see this volume, Coinbase would be foolish to not get in there. And I think as we stabilize around these threes, around the kind of fours that we saw last time on our last move up, then it does build confidence for these exchanges to go and list Lunar Classic. And actually, the more exchanges we get on board, the better. We need to spread some of that, some of those amounts of coins. We know Binance holds 38%. We do need to spread that across more exchanges. But when we have more exchanges, it should stabilize the price a little bit better. So I think we've definitely got some interesting things coming. And then obviously we look forward to October the 16th, 17th, where we see community validators come on board. We could see another big spike. So we're definitely set for some really interesting price movements, in my opinion, with some pretty big catalysts coming for Terra Lunar Classic. And I think if you're involved and you've been looking at and following this journey, certainly on this channel, you kind of know what's coming. You kind of know what to expect. We all knew there was going to be a nice price movement on staking. We don't quite think it's going to be as high. Don't get left with a bag. We do expect a sell-off as people buy the rumor and sell the news, which we always expect to happen. Timing, it's going to be difficult, but look, certainly we're going to keep very, very close to it. We know obviously that it's coming, and it's coming fast. So we see here September 21st, that's 18 minutes past 6 is when the expectation of this block height will go through. We've got 19,500 blocks left to go, and that is UTC time. So we can see here 1 day, 8 hours, 25 minutes and 40 seconds. That will change slightly as we go over the course of this week, depending on volume going through the network and equally the amount of transactions that we've got going through. So you're going to have to stay really close to that. Now, some interesting voting and interesting proposals that are coming through that I wanted to bring to your attention as well. So we had this off-chain burn commission for exchanges, and this is the community standing up and saying, okay, we want the exchanges to hear us, we want them to be part of this. And ultimately, remember this, it doesn't cost the exchanges anything to do this. So it says allow exchanges to keep 0.2% of the 1.2% burn tax on all on-chain transactions. This will give exchanges an incentive to apply the burn tax off-chain. Now, here's my opinion with some of these, and we're starting to get some that have a reasonably good sentiment and equally some that are pretty crazy. This I would probably put into the pool of a bit crazy. The exchanges don't need any more funding. What we do need to do, though, is ultimately prove that there is a systemic burning of Lunar Classic coins, and ultimately we are going to drive the supply down, which makes it more valuable. We need to see settled price movement as opposed to right now where we see a day of 20% losses, the day after 15% gains. It's too volatile for some of these exchanges. It's too risky for exchanges too big money. So although we are seeing plenty of proposals come through, I think what we need to do is land the 1.2% burn tax. And what I would say is the Terra Rebels have been incredibly good at landing things right and not landing too much. And I think it's important that when we stick on the roadmap, there's only 3 things on it right now. We deliver, and we deliver correctly, and that builds investor confidence. It will also build confidence from the exchanges. So although there is a sentiment here that is the right thing, we want exchanges to onboard with us, I think ultimately they are going to. When you start to see some of this volume, like we talked about here, 818 million, or as high as we've been at nearly 3.8 billion, they are not going to want to miss out on this potential. Now, everyone is a bit nervous in terms of Fed rates. Everyone's a bit nervous in terms of what we're going to see from the market. But ultimately, we are within 36 hours of seeing the burn tax go live. I think we're going to see a nice price. We are seeing the price starting to run right now, over 13.5%. We could be breaking 3.1s. I think my price prediction will be the 4s before we burn, but always do your own research, make your own financial decisions, and make your own investment choices. But exciting. Can't wait for the next couple of days. We're going to be covering it live on the channel. So do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button if you want to see the falls on Terra Lunar Classic, and I'll catch you in the next video.